before we moved to New Canaan, the one thing everybody said is, have you seen Gentleman's Agreement?
Darling, don't you see that? It's detestable, but that's the way it is. It's even worse in New Canaan. There, nobody can sell or rent to a Jew.
So the idea behind the movie Gentleman's Agreement was talking about anti-Semitism. And the town that's spoken about in the movie as the most anti-Semitic town was New Canaan. When we moved to town, I didn't see that at all.
I was born in Norwalk Hospital, but my family was already established in New Canaan. They had purchased a grocery store.
The lineage of Jews in New Canaan relate back to many of the merchants on what is now Elm in Maine, were Jewish proprietors of businesses, shoe stores, bars and restaurants, and the likes.
Betty Chachkis and I were friendly. We felt there was a void in our children's, religious education, and it definitely was, and a connection with the rest of the Jewish community. So we started trying to meet once a month.
When we first came here, the New Canaan Jewish group was then called the New Canaan Jewish Women's Group.
I had a chance to sit down with Betty and go through old pictures, old newspaper articles, things that she's been doing with the Jewish group.
The menorahs started about 20 years ago. There was this gentleman, a lovely gentleman named Mr. Fisher. He came up with Bev Greenberg, let her rest in peace, and he donated money and had somebody he knew make a menorah out of PVC pipe. And we did it for years with the PVC pipe.
Having the scene of the whole town coming together, all the Jewish people, on God's acre every Hanukkah to light the menorah, with pride, publicly gathering the Jewish people, is such a beautiful thing. And the fact that it was residents of the town, Marty Rees, and before him, Bev Greenberg, who had the vision and the leadership to make this take place, is such a beautiful thing, and it's really inspiring for us in our work.
One of the things we loved was the New Canaan Jewish Women's Group. And more recently, one of the things that have made us love New Canaan even more really have been the efforts of Rabbi Levi and Michal Mendelo.
Early on in the Chabad's history, we had some office space available on Main Street that we decided was a good launching point for the rabbi to run some educational classes, Saturday services. I think he was there for a year or two.
I heard that there was going to be a Hebrew school, and I couldn't believe it. There was a core of Jews who would have loved the idea of it, but that the idea had been in people's heads for 40 years, but never could get the enthusiasm out of enough people to move it along.
The kids learn a variety of things, from cooking and baking traditional Israeli and Shabbat dishes, prayers, stories from the Bible, and of course studying for bar mitzvah.
Not only has Michal brought Hebrew school to New Canaan, but Rabbi Levi and Michal have brought other types of educational programs for adults, for children. Whatever it is that you might need in Judaism, they're offering it.
One of the great things about going to the classes, especially the Talmud classes, these classes are not just rote, you're not just listening. There's arguments, just as the Talmud has arguments, these classes, people argue, people discuss.
I couldn't believe when I met the Mendelos how open they were to all people and how they were so generous with their invitations to us.
Rabbi Levi and Michal Mendelo just represent a desire to create a Jewish presence in New Canaan and to make Jews feel welcome, to let Jews find their roots, enjoy their Judaism, and pass it on to their children.
I like knowing that Chabad is in New Canaan.
What we're doing isn't only for us, it's for a generation that may be toddlers now, but ultimately become adults in this community, and for generations that have not yet even been born.
My daughter and her family have moved to New Canaan, and they're interested in having a Jewish life. They're talking to me already. My grandson is 3 years old. They're talking to me already about possibly enrolling him in the Hebrew school.
What's most special is the way the community is coming together. And we're honored to be part of this community.
I see the efforts that we've put in for the past 5 years as just the beginning.
There's a bright future for Judaism in New Canaan.